Hello again, everybody. Glad you could make it here for the round 4. Am I correct on that? Round 4?
Round of 4, yes.
Yes, nice. But before we get to that, I do believe Oz has some great and grand words to say.
I do have some great and grand words to say, and they are going to be all about our sponsors. Let's take a quick look at what everybody's going to be competing for. But before that, we'll just get to our sponsors. A huge thank you to Alienware for supplying those Alienware alphas that are going to be given out to first and second place. A huge thank you to Gosu Gamers. A huge shout out to ES Champ and Ronimo. That being said, first place, you're going to be taking home $1,800 cash, 3 Alienware alphas, some Steam items, and you got that gold in-game badge. Second place, you may not finish first, but you're still going to get 3 alphas, and you're going to get 900 cash, along with some Steam items and a silver in-game badge. Third place, you may not be getting some alphas, but you're still going to be getting some cash. That's 900 cash, some Steam items, and a bronze in-game badge. And fourth place, you're going to be getting $450 to use on whatever you choose. That being said, let's get into the round of 4. We're going to be seeing some crazy stuff going on here. We're on Augion. That being said, let's go into the draft some picks. Nada, what are we going to see for this?
Well, we are looking at a Swiggins, a Scoop, and a Nibs fighting a Coco, a Genji, and a Sentry.
That's right, we're going to be seeing Ninjas with Attitude versus Hot Voltar Train. And the map is going to be on Augion. Without further ado, let's get straight into things. Nada, give us a countdown.
You got the boss in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, bros. Alright. So, alrighty. I can tell you that burst is going to happen, and it's going to happen everywhere, and it's going to hurt.
Interestingly enough, Tozar was able to pick up Invis before anybody else. He's playing that Sentry.
And you know why that's dangerous?
Because even on a single charge with a black hole while you're invisible, you're probably one of the most... You're probably the scariest thing in the game.
Yeah, because you're gonna connect everyone, and you're gonna basically make sure that everyone else hits their things. Just look at that, all centered, neatly arranged. You become target practice when you're in a black hole.
You may become target practice, but then the offside to that is that all members of Hot Voltar Train are going to have to get into the fray, and when they get into that, that Nibs is going to just let go on that fire. The bindings are going to come out, and this is going to be a body block coming out. Kelvin's going to be taking a lot of damage right now.
He's not going to have any of that. Coco's going to go down to the Nibs, though.
That's right. Chris Moon is actually going to pick up Collector's Edition, and that is going to be a 1-for-1 exchange.
Oh, but
Chris Moon is going to be getting chased. Chris Moon getting a nice
bounce teleport. Nibs actually in the enemy jungle right now, trying to make the best of a very bad situation. You have the invisible Sentry just lurking around to get that nice kill, but I don't think he's actually going to be able to get it because he's so low on HP.
Exactly. He's really low, and he's going to be forced to kind of get down there, protect that bottom, get his teleport out, and teleport back. Maybe, I want to see what he's going to buy. And he's going straight for the regen, opting for that early utility. Luigi taking a lot of damage right now. Luigi is able to pick up those 2 health creeps and be able to escape with 2 bars, but Jess is still in the fray in there and going to try and battle it out and duke it out and pick him up. Unfortunately, does not pick him up, as we see Tozar getting hit by a hammer right there, and he's going to be forced to kind of go down into that bottom lane and clear that Swiggins push that he's going to have.
You know, in some weird sense, it makes sense that Swiggins is on bottom lane, just because he's an aquatic nod. You know, that's something. There's water in the bottom of Agion, if you haven't noticed, and it's really cool.
There is.
There is.
There's the reflection, though, coming in, and that's one of the really cool things that a lot of people overlook on these maps, is actually taking a second to look at the background and sprites and everything that's coming out. I didn't even notice that water until you pointed it out a few seconds ago, and I looked at the reflection, and I just said, wow.
It's really pretty,
but
that? It's not, where I'm going with this is not just that Ronimo is supplying us with endless amounts of eye candy. What I want to go with, on some maps, you can actually hide things behind map
And we see Tozar going for the body block on Jess again. Jess is going to be taking a lot of damage. Jess is going to be able to retreat with the hammer and pick up those creeps, though. Kelvin in a 2v1 situation, just kind of switching up in those lanes, getting the clears on bottom. But I'm sorry, as you were saying?
Yes, I don't think it applies as much for Agion, but on certain maps, you can use the map structure and the map design to hide, for instance, Yuri mines or other things that you may not notice.
And a lot of damage is going to be coming out. Tozar is going to be going down. Luigi's going to be going down.
If it's going to be the triple. Are we looking at the triple? He is so... Is he... Nips going for it? Is Nips going for it? Oh, he knows that Nips might be going for it.
Tozar is going to be getting back, but a nice engagement coming out there. A nice counter engagement coming out in favor of Ninjas with Attitude, picking up the 2 for none in a seedy situation. And that's going to allow them to push in on this bottom turret, and Tozar getting the black hole, just thwarting them off little by little. His AA can't do much against a Scoop and a Swiggins.
Speaking of Scoop, he has heal over time on bindings, which is something I find to be a really strange pick. I don't think I've ever seen that used as an early rush, but...
Well, it actually heals more than getting the milk carton.
Oh yeah, I know.
So,
it's
Chris Moon is going to be in a little bit of a C situation, uses his teleport to kind of escape that situation. Jess is now going to be in the fray right now, in the brunt of 3 members of Hot Voltar Train. And Jess is probably going to be able to get out. Not if that lands, and Tozar is going to be coming in for the pickup right now. Jess is taking a lot of damage, but some missed starbursts on Tozar are going to allow Jess to escape unscathed. Well, not unscathed, but
the Ninjas and with attitudes, they're definitely not going back just because of silly things such as low HP. They stayed around for a good while.
Absolutely, they knew when they can kind of attack, when they can retreat, and how much health to escape with. And that was one of those situations where, although Jess took a lot of damage, the entirety of Hot Voltar Train got them to teleport back. That's a victory in itself. If you can force your enemy, even though you may not pick up the kill, if you can force your enemy to move back, gain some ground, allow your team to push a little bit, and allow those lanes to get out a little bit, take that as a win. You may not have gotten a kill.
Don't overcommit for things, especially not early game where the respawn time is going to be low anyway.
And Chris Moon going into fire, he's going to pick up a Collector's Edition going down to Chris Moon.
He picked up the Collector's Edition.
Ninjas.
I don't know if you picked up on that, but you just made the best pun ever.
What?
He picked up the Collector's Edition.
He pre-ordered it and picked it up at 5 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Chris Moon's going to be taking a lot of damage right now, just narrowly escaping as Tozar is unable to chase with that Nibs teleport. Now Kelvin is going to be taking a lot of damage as Tozar is trying to get the body blocks in. Jess is going to be forced to rotate down to that bottom, allowing Kelvin to escape. Luigi and the entirety of Hot Voltar Train, they kind of really need to get into that mid and I think someone other...
Black Hole's charging already. Something I want to point out with Sentry actually is if you look on bottom, there is going to be the teleport beacon. And the teleport beacon is placed in such a way that he gets vision, and it's also placed so that if someone goes down, they're not gonna have to. They don't have to move far before they're already out of position. And the black hole is gonna come over, trap Nibs, but she is just gonna teleport out because that is what Nibs do.
As you said, it grants that vision. It absolutely acts as a ward. It completely enlightens that area to Hot Voltar Train.
Enlightens. I love it.
And it looks like Luigi's going to be taking a lot of damage now, but Kelvin's right there for the escape.
Actually, it's hooked by the anchor. Oh, and that's 2 people going back. But no!
No!
Nibs actually going for the cheeky fire under the... Nice!
And I'm not
under
sure
the turret right there.
A teleport error on Luigi, or if he was trying to type something to his teammates there, but he stopped teleporting. And Chris Moon saw that and just immediately went in for the kill and managed to pick it up.
Did what the Nibs do best.
Be sneaky.
Yep. And to kill people, but it's almost the same. So
doing a lot of damage. Tozar and Collector's Edition. One thing that I need Hot Voltar Train, I need them to do, is get that invisibility and not allow Tozar to pick the invisibility up. That's where I think they're kind of lacking in regards to getting that burst off. Because yeah, the black holes are going to be good, but they're not dealing enough damage with just the black hole initiation alone.
No, I mean we're basically the only damage they have is coming out of Genji, and everything else is basically utility.
And
So
just going a little bit of a situation right here, as he is probably going to be going down in this.
no,
maybe
the heal
not.
over time. The heal over time.
And
Me doubting it at first, but it was actually good. Luigi going and having a battle with Kelvin. Wow, I really did not expect Penguin Squire, the heal over time, to be as effective.
Well, we saw right there. It definitely saved Jess.
I consider myself corrected.
We see that no-clip fire, Chris Moon just easily escaping with the teleport, and that's where Nibs thrives most. Dealing that damage and being able to get out so quickly. Tozar getting a nice charge off that fire. Kelvin's going to pick up Invis at this point in favor of Ninjas. And a nice black hole coming out is going to pick up Chris Moon. Tozar getting the pickup.
And we're actually starting to see a bit more of aggressive builds on AA in terms of Sentry here, getting both attack speed and damage. So he's actually going to be able to do things now.
Exactly. You know, Sentry is one of those characters that's easily able to zone in. A lot of damage coming out. Kelvin is going to be forced to retreat back. Collector's Edition notices
going in
that
for the bounce, but not actually going to be enough. If he going, nope.
Kelvin
and he actually manages to correctly duke it out. So that's another thing. If he had panicked and just gone for the bounce up, everyone would have been waiting for him. The ball was set in prediction, but no, he was you know, cold water, and just he had it, calm and secure. That's how you do, people. That's how you do it.
You know, earlier on, you were pointing out more of the aggressive builds coming out in regards to the AA on Sentry, and in my opinion, that's one of the only ways to build an early game Sentry right now. Get that AA off, get that huge amount of zone damage, and Collector's Edition is going to be taken down by Kelvin at this point, and that is going to be a one-for-none situation in favor. And we see that zoning kind of coming out from Tozar. Tozar is going to be forced to go back, and Kelvin's actually going to get hit by the cocoon at this point. Tozar getting a nice charge off of that, as he's going to be hunting them down up top. Kelvin just going to clear that bottom lane as they switch over to Tozar.
Getting that nice cocoon in there. Genji looking to do some magic, but the heal over time seems to actually be out healing the damage done by Genji, and he is actually going to live, or so it seems. Yep, he is well alive and kicking.
You know, earlier on you said Penguin Squire, you weren't too sure about it. How about now?
I know, I have admitted my mistake.
Tozar is going to be taking a lot of damage now. Chris Moon and Jess kind of chasing down Tozar. And then we see this Kelvin coming in for the pickup. Jess getting hit by the ball, and Collector's Edition is in a little bit of a bad situation right now, but Luigi quickly notices it and gets back in there.
Connects, and that's going to be trouble. That's
not as much trouble as you think. You got Chris Moon there getting ready to use his Nibs Fire and taking out someone.
Oh yeah, look at that. Nice shutdown from Genji, and that's, yeah.
And the teleport in the wrong direction is going to allow Luigi to pick up Chris Moon, who is in fact not a bot, as his name says otherwise. But we're going to see some silver coating coming out on Coco.
You get your facts straight. It says God.
Oh, Chris Moon God. That's right. I'm so used to his name being Chris Moon Bot. But Luigi's going to be taking a lot of damage from that ensnarement on the anchor from Swiggins. And Hot Voltar Train has kind of taken control of this midsection again, but their turrets are looking a little bit weak at this point. And here we go with the fire again. Chris Moon taking out a lot of damage.
And that's going to be 2 people down, 1 by DOT and 1 by Droid. That should be a turret on bottom, and I think on top as well, if they can split this up right.
If they can split push this correctly, yeah. And Tozar getting a nice charge off of that. Unfortunately,
Black Hole is baited out, and that's going to be the top turret down, like that.
They can easily push into this bottom lane right now, and take that by themselves.
Yeah, it's like by now, I think we're looking at the mid game, and that mid game is going to be on HVT's side of the map, I'm afraid, in terms of fighting. And that's not going to be too. That's not where that's not where things like Nibs, I feel, is much better at coming back from attacks rather than going in for full aggression. It's better to do that turnaround quickly when you're having an engagement, and with your opposing team being on the defense, it's going to be harder to get them out in the position where you can get a nice safe fire in.
Definitely, turning around in the middle of an engagement and being able to deal massive amounts of damage to everybody is where Nibs really does excel. Because even though you may not pick up a kill, you've gotten everybody down to half health.
Oh yeah, and I mean, when they're that low, the DOT and your teammates should be able to handle the rest.
And now we see this push coming out, and Tozar is going to get a nice charge off of that one scoop hammer. And I believe they're trying to bait out that huge charge coming out on Sentry as Sentry kind of makes his way up into that section.
He has to be quick, though, because the black hole is going to decay.
And there we see it right now. He's going to be taking a lot of damage. Kelvin is actually going to be at full health
right now. He does have his teleport up, but will it be enough? He has his teleport up. He just has to juke it out for a bit more before he can get away.
He's going to be unable to because that 2-second delay when you're hit is going to not allow you to teleport.
Mm-hmm. He was so close. I could feel that, just almost there. Damn. Alright, so, looking at the builds here, we are going to be seeing we're going to see a bit of a change of pace here as, that is Coco, and she is building both AA and more utility. I think we've been down this road with utility and damage and such.
And Tozar is going to be taking a lot of damage right now. Nibs is going to be dealing a lot of damage as well, but taking it as well. And here we see Kelvin is going to be in a little bit of a bad situation right now, but he's got more health than them.
Yes, more health than them combined. They don't have, at least for Coco, she does not have more than base damage on Bull. She does have 2 stages of Superconductor now, but in that sort of engagement, Swiggins was clearly the superior power. He both has energized hooks and pool boy, as well as the blue hard medallion metal. So he's going to be a powerhouse of damage and burst and just hurt.
And you can't forget about that Kraken coming out on him, getting that little extra stun. And Chris Moon is actually going to pick up Luigi, but gets knocked back into the turret. There's going to be a lot of damage coming out as Collector's Edition is trying to take out Chris Moon. Chris Moon is going to be able to escape with very little health. Kelvin is now on bottom lane. Tozar taking a lot of damage on the entirety.
That's a nice push into the black hole there.
Both teams in that situation, very good plays coming out from both of them. Unfortunately, Luigi does go down to Chris Moon earlier with that fire, but that allowed the ninjas to get onto that bottom lane and get some poke damage in on that turret.
Yes, we're seeing Nibs going for some good poking here, knowing that the full-on DPS burst is not going to be likely unless the Swiggins hook happens. So trying to get, getting damage in just in general is really important. And there we go. The fire is just going to barbecue everyone, but the shield, see, Genji's blessing should have happened a long time ago, because with the flat damage reduction, you are basically going to be immune to the fire that Nibs produces, as well as the damage on the charge up of bindings if the scoop chooses to get that. So
well, at some point, I think it's mandatory that the scoop gets that. Tozar taking a lot of damage, but a nice black hole is going to keep Kelvin in there, but the cocoon is going to save him from taking any damage in that black hole.
Oh, yeah. You were saying?
No, I was just saying how, Tozar, I know Tozar as a very good Sentry player, and for him to get the tent on his AA was a little confusing to me, but I can see why. He needs to be able to zone, and he's going to be doing an excellent job of that. You can see how long his AA is staying on the map at this point, and he's going to be able, if he gets those black holes, I think that he shouldn't focus on who's in the black hole, who's around the black hole. To be able to zone that, Collector's Edition is going to be picking up Chris Moon here. Jess is going to be in a little bit of a tight situation, but Kelvin is going to be right there to sponge up some of that damage. And they do manage to steal the creeps from Luigi, forcing him to teleport back. Kelvin is now going to be on this bottom lane, and we see that zoning coming out on Tozar again. Tozar was trying to predict the hook coming out, but unfortunately mistimes it, and his black hole is only going to have a 2-bar charge.
See, that's actually something. When you do the time thing, if you can make sure you sort of gather up your mines, and you make your black hole land so that the eye of the hole is on your mines, you're going to be able to stack up a lot of damage.
Absolutely. Jess is taking a lot of damage, but that hammer is going to allow him to escape again as he lands it on Luigi, and he's going to be forced to go back again and get some more health. We're seeing some sustain coming out on this Nibs now, and some damage coming out for the scoop. Some HP upgrades as well.
Yeah, I mean, right now, what's happening here, the ninjas with attitudes are just securing their place by making sure that they're not going to get taken down by the actual, I'd almost say the almost non-existent burst of you do have the black hole, I'll give them that, and the ball is building, but right now there's not a lot of burst coming out, and that's what's going to be able to take out Nips. Because you're not going to be able to out DPS and Nips. Now that's just silly talk.
You know, I think that Hot Voltar train has kind of, and the Fire is going to be able to secure a kill on Collector's Edition through the wall. Chris Moon, a nice display of map awareness, knowing that he can hit that through the wall, especially with his slow that he has. But as I was saying earlier, I think Hot Voltar train has kind of went for a post-burst kind of build. As we can see now, a lot of damage being dealt, and Tozar is going to go down, but not before Chris Moon is going to be taken out by no one.
And everything. You know, that just happens sometimes. I think when you die and you get a kill by something that then disappears, kind of like a mine, for instance.
Fair enough. Luigi's going to be taking a lot of damage now as Jess is going to get hit by the cocoon damage. And as I was saying before, Hot Voltar train, it looks to me they've built a post-burst team.
Yes.
Or it seems that Ninjas with Attitude have made it look that way. But I don't know, that's just my opinion on the matter. But they definitely have the capability to deal burst damage.
Yeah, they do, but they're not building for it. That's the thing. They're slowly heading towards it with the Coco and the ball damage now, and you know, the black hole is going to be able to stack up some quite hefty damage, and having to fight a team with high burst is going to help. Luigi getting really, really low down there, and he's actually going to go down.
Luigi's actually going to go down to Jess, but the nice black hole is going to pick up Jess as well. Tozar is able to get the 1-for-1 exchange, but no! Chris Moon noticing Tozar looking for the help, and manages to pick him up with the teleport.
Yeah, and he does have the Eye of the Cobra upgrade, so he is going to do a bit more damage than if it was just on base. So nice display on just, you know, oh, that was just great Nips
just
play.
Awareness, you know, he noticed that Tozar was looking in there, looking for that help, and said, you know what? Okay. Sentry's got a telefrag. I've got a telefrag. Let's match it up and see what happens.
Yeah, that's actually something else I wanna comment on. He does not have any upgrades for his abilities at all.
Well, as Sentry, you know, we've reached a late game point, and this is where he's maxed out his AA. He's kind of honed himself in on his zoning play style. I think he should start building into some teleport damage, and Tozar is very well known for his teleport.
Ready for that? All right, that's
and we see the teleport.
We don't have any follow-up though. Oh, we don't have any follow-up though. See, that could have gone a lot of ways there.
Luigi's taking a lot of damage right now as Jess is taking the brunt of it. Jess is going to go down to Collector's Edition, but not before he takes out Luigi.
Alright, well, we have just entered the late game. We're looking at a 17-7 kill difference, so 10 kills in between the two teams. What?
And Tozar's taking a lot of damage right now. Actually, go down to Chris Moon.
I'm gonna have to do the whole thing again just because that happened. Are you happy, Chris Moon? No, but what do you think that the Hot Voltar train should do to gain back from this? I mean, aside from getting their Voltar.
Well, you know, momentum is a huge part of this, and right now, it is in favor of Ninjas with Attitude. I think a few well-placed black holes like that one before, even though Tozar may be going down, at least he can kind of secure and confine the Ninjas with Attitude to that one area, allow that Coco to land that ball, and that Genji to kind of go to town in regards to his AA. You know, it's not overwhelmingly strong, but it's still enough damage.
And you can see he's actually going. They're communicating. They're seeking out this one cocoon fella. They're like, oh no, we're going for it. They know that they have to act on whatever they get. We're
actually seeing a very scary situation right now where Chris Moon is going to go in again with the fire and be able to pick up Tozar. And it seems like Ninjas with Attitude are going to be able to take this bottom turret here. They may be pushing. They are going to be pushing the core at this point.
Well, with 10 seconds to drop and the 10-second drop down, that's going to be a whole lot of time before Sentry actually gets back so he can defend. That's going to be tough if they want to make this.
Let's see if that Sentry can make back in time. Chris Moon just trying to get the no-clip fire again through the walls.
Spraying everywhere.
And hitting it over and over again. But that core is about 3 bars more than half at this point, and they're just continuing their assault on it.
Back from teleporting in from behind. He's going to take a lot of damage, but the black hole is going to come in and deal a a lot of damage. Are they going to be able to act on this though?
Let's see what they're going to do. They notice that they're in a 2v3 situation again. Chris Moon is actually looking to teleport back at this point.
Kelvin has the invis.
Jess is going to be taking down that top turret with that droid push there. Nice hammer coming out.
The Invis Swiggins is going to happen in any second now.
The Invis Swiggins is going to be terrifying because it's going to happen and it's going to be a lot of damage. We see it right there, and Luigi is going to go down to Jess and Kelvin.
Base is going to take a lot of damage here. I don't know if they can hold this. I really don't know if they can hold this. Ball connects, but that's not going to do much.
I don't know if they can hold it either. The Collector's Edition and Tozar are going to have to duke it out with a Nibs dealing a lot of damage on fire. Tozar getting taken down by the hammer. Collector's Edition caught in between a rock and a hard place right now. That being Jess and Kelvin, and he is going to go down. And that is going to be a victory for Hop Voltar Train as they proceed to the finals, versing Team Boom.
Boom.
So what happened in that match? What exemplified and secured the win for the Ninjas with Attitude that match, Nada?
Well, if we look at the first kill that happened, that was Tozar's nice black hole that caught Kelvin in a really bad spot. But from there on out, we are going to have to see, we're going to look at how many kills before they get another. That's 6 kills before another kill happened. I think the scarcity of how many kills they actually managed to secure led to a huge solar disadvantage, which in turn allowed Nibs and Swiggins to scale up their otherwise pretty expensive stuff to you know, to a point where it's going to be hard to tank out. Another thing I want to point out is what Genji did, or what he didn't do. He did not get the Bronco Yeast, the flat damage reduction, which could have saved his teammates numerous of times, because it is going to reduce the damage that you can buy. You can, even though she maxes out her damage, Nibs on fire, you're going to be able to cancel even more than that. You're going to be able to cancel into the base damage as well, even though it is fully upgraded.
Absolutely, you know. And one thing that we saw there was the Luigi kind of going for the explode cocoon damage, which I think is a great upgrade, but in a situation like this, flat damage would have been a better option. That being said, you know, before we get into our finals, one more thing, you know, all these teams have just played so well today, yesterday, and, you know, seeing these upgrades come out, we're seeing these pretty standardized builds come out, and, you know, I know majority of these players right now on the US side, and they obviously have a clue of what they're looking to accomplish. So, although Ninjas with Attitude kind of pushed in and pushed Hot Voltar Train into this very, I want to say, protective play style, where they forced Tozar to go for more of a zoning kind of play. Hot Voltar Train, we've seen them before, we've seen their comps, and we know what they can do. They're a very strong team. I know Tozar, I know Luigi, I know Collector's Edition, and they're a very strong team. And unfortunately, in a situation like this, where they're overpowered by a Nibs, Swiggins, and Scoop, it's tough to really work around that. So, excellent job to both teams. We're going to take a quick break before we get into our finals. Stay tuned. Boom.
Is there something about the chat though?
No, that's later.
No chat. No, that happened.
That's later. That's after our first one. That's later. Don't worry about that.
No, don't.
But we will be right back with Ninjas with Attitude versus Boom for our last and finals for the North American Qualifier 2.